Action Comics Superman 1030.
Bro, things are getting intense with the Supermans.
Yeah, man.
Um, Now, again, super, super novice Superman reader,
It's okay.
especially me. Like, no movies, no cartoons, no nothing. I just
Yeah.
don't know.
No future state.
No future state. No. So when Mongol shows up at the very beginning of this book, I'm like, that looks pretty cool. Guy seems like he's probably badass, but I don't know. Like, apparently, like he's like one of the strongest villains of DC, or
One of the big baddies, yeah.
one of the big bads. And but this isn't the Mongol of. I think he's the guy that's responsible for destroying Coast City in the '90s.
Sure.
Which is where Hal Jordan is from. That's what, and like that's like when he turns into Parallax and does all this weird shit. Doesn't matter.
I know that one.
Apparently that was this dude's dad that did that Mongol. This is the other Mongol, the son.
Mongol Jr.
Yeah, Mongol. But basically we get this like really creepy, like, you know, Mongol sitting on his throne and there's all these people worshiping him and they're all chained. They got chains all over their hands. And there's this this guy that's like whacking people with a stick, and I don't know, it's kind of wild. But then a shadowy figure comes and is like the guy that's all chained up and hitting people with sticks, like, who dares comes in here with his hands unchained to the Lord? It's all
very Monty Python.
Yes. And this guy basically walks in and just fucking tosses 3 heads on the ground. He's like, oh, I come bearing gifts. Here's my first one. And everyone's like, oh, he's a traitor. Kill him. And Mongol's like, wait. Be quiet. Did you just kill all my sons so they couldn't usurp me, which is like the tradition of all the Mongols. We always usurp our fathers and kill them. But you just killed all my boys, so now I can be the ruler forever? That's fucking dope, dude. I appreciate that. Like,
thanks,
that's
bro. Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Love you. I love you 3000, bro. Like, thanks.
Oh. He's like, yeah. But you said you had more than one gift though, right? Like, that was cool, though.
What else you got?
And so he basically is like, you know, Warworld isn't, you know, what you think it could be, and there's secrets, and the key to mastering it is the one who lives far away from here, and it's Superman flying. Because, you know, of course it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, we get Superman basically running like a little test course.
Mm-hmm.
Where he's punching and kicking and flying and eye bursting and doing all those things. It turns out that Superman and is that the Atom?
Yes.
Superman and the Atom, who I've literally I didn't know that was a character until
or Batman and the Atom, not Superman.
What? Batman.
Superman.
Sorry, Batman and the Atom.
Yep.
Who I don't even know who that is. Apparently he's a Golden Age guy, but he's not big.
He can shrink. He's like Ant-Man.
Okay, got it. And
that might be an oversimplification, but like, he's a scientist. He can shrink down. Blah blah blah.
That's perfect. Superman gets in. He's like, "Yeah, what do we think?" And Batman's like, "It's not what we hoped for. We hope for better." I'm Batman, and I wish it was better.
Batman.
And Adam's like, "Man, it's not that bad. Like, it's all right. Don't, he's crazy. Don't worry about it."
Yeah. You're so dark, bro.
But they're basically like, you know, ever since what happened in that first little, 2-issue arc from Johnson between Superman and Action, where he gets attacked by those aliens from the portal, you know, he's been a little off. You know, not like he's still strong. He can still fly. He can still shoot his laser beams, but he's just not. You know, he's at like 92%. But he doesn't feel like, he feels like he should be at 100%. He feels fine. And so they're basically, you know, keeping up with them and seeing what's going on. And then he makes the obvious point. He's like, you know, we got to keep, you know, Superman said, we got to keep this to ourselves, because if Luthor or Darkseid were to find out, you know, they'd totally come kick my ass and I'd totally lose. So let's not do that.
I thought that part was cool, because then Batman's like, well, we need to go talk to your son, because he may need to be on the League. And I was like, oh, like that's a low blow, bro. Like,
yeah, that was pretty. Well, in Batman's like super business, right? He's just like doesn't matter if this hurts your feelings or
Right,
not.
like that's
If you
the next
can't
thing to
if you
do.
can't fulfill the role of Superman on the team, we need a Superman on the team. So we need to go talk to your boy.
Yeah, and
Uh,
Kent takes it personally.
yeah, and so then we get a little scene between the two Super Sons. Damian and John are sitting on a roof having some lunch, and honestly, I completely forgot this conversation happened. No, I turned the page and was like, oh shit.
That's okay.
But I remember they were basically talking about, like, he was saying, Damien was saying, like, how do you know that your dad's gonna not, die or not be able to be Superman anymore? And,
Right.
and he kind of reminds him about being in the future and stuff like that. And he says, I'm worried, like, it's about this time that, stories of my dad sort of fall off. They have a basic idea, but that was in the year like 3000 or something, so far in the future that this era of history is not exactly known. And so this is basically like a highlight story, almost like letting you know what happened in those first two arcs, or those first two books. If you didn't know, he says a couple of weeks ago the tear in space-time opened up and it hurt my dad and blah blah blah.
Which I kind of liked, me personally. I don't know how you felt about it because I didn't read those issues.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice to be like, oh, okay, cool. Like,
it felt very fluid to me. It didn't feel like, oh my god, they're just trying to like just catch readers up. No, it felt very fluid. It's basically just the two friends talking about John, like being like, shit, man, I might have to actually become Superman, and I don't know if I'm ready for that. I don't know if that's where I'm at right now.
and Damien's like, grow the fuck up. It doesn't matter what you want.
Yeah. But of course, Damien, being the hard ass that he is just like, he's like, obviously I don't want your dad to die, and I'm sorry you're feeling messed up about it, but like, unlike him, you were literally born to do this. Which I don't know. I felt that was a little unfair.
Yeah.
He said, "Your will fills, or you will fill your dad's shoes some days. Nobody can stop it, not even you."
Damn.
And I was like, man, I don't know about that. Like, I think John has the ability to buck the trip.
I also think it's just Damien, because like if you think about, and we're learning more about these characters as we go. Like, this is a new journey for us, right? But like, from the limited knowledge that we have of Damien, like Damien, that's been his, not with Batman, but with his mother, like his entire upbringing. Like, you were bred for this moment. It doesn't matter what you want. Like, you will always succeed to fight in the Flying Lotus Lazarus pit thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, that's his thing. So it's kind of ingrained into his being. So now he's just kind of projecting that on John, and John's just like, bro, man, I just want to fly. Like,
right. Then we cut to a scene with Clark and Lois, where Lois is in a simulation of a Kryptonian library.
Was that who that was? That's Lois?
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was somebody else.
No, it's Lois.
I thought they were being scandalous. Okay.
Oh, no. No, it's just Lois. Apparently she is writing a book about Krypton or Kryptonians or something to that effect. And she was in a simulation, simulating a library so that she could see what it was like. But that nice little moment is interrupted by Superman's robot Kellex, and he's basically like, there's some like people in the atmosphere, like some intruders, like some ships, you might want to go look. And Superman flies out, and it's just like a fucking armada coming down on Earth. Like, it's pretty intense, like a huge ship, just like fucking
very Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yes, but very much the opposite style wise. It's very refined, very. And I think this is a great juxtaposition, and that both of these are amazing, and neither one is better than the other.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion.
I definitely dig like space pirate battleships in the sky. Like, that's you're gonna get me every time with that.
Right. And so Superman, flies towards them, and he sends out a little alert calling for John, Kara, and Connor, and it's basically like, hey, if any of y'all are around, like, we've got a pretty bad situation up there. And of course, John's there, and he flies up and is like, yo, what's going on? And he's like, hey, we gotta fuck some spaceships up, man. Let's do it. So they fight some spaceships for a while, and then right when they're trying to take them out, they open up rips the side off. Superman rips the side off of one of the ships. It lands inside and realizes that the people inside are speaking a dead Kryptonian language.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, what?
¿Por qué?
And that's the end of the issue. So we've got some weird ancient Kryptonian people that are coming in on this invasion.
So, just to let you know, at least one of those characters is definitely in the House of L Future State book. So
yeah, the guy in the back that's in the chains.
Yes.
Yeah.
He also fucking gets his head blown off in the Future State House.
Oh, well, spoiler alert.
Well, if you'd read it, dude's like the coolest one, and it's just like...
I didn't realize that I had to read it.
Yeah, I told you to. I literally said if you're going to get into Spider-Man... I
didn't know you were going to spoil it for me.
If you're going to get into Superman, you need to go read House of L, because it's really cool, but then it ends really shitty.
I really enjoyed this issue. I thought it was written really well. It flowed really well. I feel like, as a new reader to Superman, I don't feel lost, where I'm going like, wait, what are they talking about? Like, what's going on? Like, there is enough cool references to things in the past that make it seem like, man, I might like to learn about that sometimes. Like John being on the Legion in the year 3000, but like, it's not necessary to know that to understand what's going on or enjoy what's going on here. Plus, I super enjoy sci-fi aspects of comics when you can take a character like Superman, to me, that just seems very vanilla humdrum, and then he's dealing with like fucking space pirates, and it's like Monty Python in space and Superman. I'm totally down for that. So
everything you said I agree with. Like, I had no like yearning to read a Superman book.
Mm-hmm.
And this issue alone has been like, I could read Superman. I don't know. I think I've had that. Me personally, I've had that view on DC Comics when we started, right? And so this to me was like, dude, this is cool. Like, I don't know. We're not. I guess it's because like classic DC stories of Superman and Batman are like, catch that bank robber, right? And this didn't feel like that. It felt like a space saga, an epic that Johnson's just starting to introduce us to. And like when I read House of L, I was like, what is this? This is so cool. And I'm super excited that Johnson will continue to elaborate that story in Superman Action Comics. So I'm all for it. I liked it. I thought the artwork was killer. I love this cover. It just didn't feel like the Superman that my dad grew up with and that he would tell me about. And that might upset some DC fans, right? I think Ron is more of a Superman or a DC. His flavor is DC more than Marvel. And I think we've asked him that, and he's like, "Well, I like DC more." Like, and this is his. And I think when Brent, I think I asked that question when they were doing one of those questionnaire episodes on Facebook Live. Halfway through the pandemic. And I think Brent was like, "I'm more of a Marvel guy," and Ron was like, "I'm more of a DC guy." And I've always looked at DC Comics as like just kind of classic. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just always been like classic superhero stories of get the Joker, see, like that kind of style. And this book is not that. Like, Johnson has definitely elevated Superman out of that genre. Whatever that's worth. I could be totally off on that, and you can kill me in the comments. I don't care. But
I mean, Superman does have a long history of dealing with space and aliens, but it seems like that was more Golden and Silver Age stuff, and more, slapstick almost, or right. I don't know. That's the perception I have. But
no, I agree. I think
we could be wrong.
We could be, but I agree with that assessment. But anyway, I'm with you. I thought this was a really good issue.
Yep.
I will be adding it to my pool.